Welcome to the Grand Collaborations, a part of the Grand Podcast. My name is Niels Winter, and I'm the creator, editor, and host of The Grand. The Grand is now open for business, and I have therefore created the segment The Grand Collaboration, where I will launch podcast collaborations with partners. This podcast episode is a collaboration between ENCO Consulting and The Grand. Dealing with communication, dissemination, and exploitation is not a standard activity, even though some think so. It requires experience, reflected understanding of the depths of each of the three, and not least being able to distinguish between the differences between the three actions. ENCO Consulting is an Italian grants consultancy company that has been operating for almost 40 years, and hence is an established capacity within the grants consultancy business area. They have over the years established themselves as a strong partner on exactly these three areas. Marco della Feld, founder and CEO of ENCO, and Rosanna Buonfiglio, communication manager, both have years of experience juggling with communication, dissemination, and exploitation. In this second episode in the ENCO Series, they joined me in a conversation about this particular area of EU funding, and they sought out the difference between the three. Finally, they share how they worked specifically using their approach in the SYMBA project funded by Horizon Europe. Please enjoy. Welcome to the Grand, the EU funding podcast. This episode is part of the Grand collaboration, and I've entered a nice collaboration with the Italian grant consultancy company ENCO. We've already had one episode out on proposal writing together with the nice colleague Antonietta Pizza that you have already listened to out there. And this is the second episode. And before I say anything else, welcome in, Rosanna and Marco.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi Niels. Thank you for having us.
Very nice to have you in. Now, today we're going to talk about how you work with communication, dissemination, and exploitation. And it's a topic that a lot of organizations out there in Europe are working with every single day in EU projects and in proposals and so on. So there will be a lot of interest in hearing about how you work with these things. So let's just, before I need to say a few more words about yourself. So, Marco, I'm sorry, but always women first.
Of course.
Rosanna, can you share a few words about yourself?
So I'm Rosanna Buonfiglio from ENCO, and I'm the responsible for communication and dissemination here in the organization and in several projects, European work project we're working on. So thank you so much for having us today. It's really important to talk about this topic for us.
Thank you. And Marco?
Yes, I am the general director of our company. I am a mechanical engineer with a PhD in advanced material, and from more or less 20 years, oh my God, how old I am, I'm working on European projects, covering different roles, starting from the communication dissemination when I was young, and later scaling on exploitation, project management. And today I am so happy and so proud to be the general director of this company that have done an incredible work in the last 15 years, also considering how strong is the competition between the different entities. And let me say that I am really honored where we are. ENCO, maybe you already know, but it's a consultant company with around 50 EU project founders and different consultant service delivery. And let me say that coming from the south of Italy, because we are based in Naples, it's an incredible results that we have achieved with strong and daily hard work.
That I can confirm, and I can confirm for anyone that sets out and make a company within this corner, and to be still standing after so many years, it requires a lot of persistence, endurance, and patience. It's a lot of hard work. That indeed.
Also because the direct competitors are all around Europe, so the competition is hard, and the quality of the proposal that have been submitted in the last 10 years are increasing, cut-off after cut-off, and you always be update. You need to improve the knowledge at company level, and you promote and describe and implement innovative actions. Otherwise, you are not so competitive.
It's a rough sector to be in. I've been spending a lot of my podcast episodes the last 4 years to discuss how rough this sector is. So indeed. Now let's move into the topic here. So you're a strong couple to have in for this. First block here, why communication matters. It's just a short fly in, 3 minutes, sharing on communication as a strategic part of EU projects. So want to lift that?
Yes, I can speak about that. So let's start saying that communication is really different from dissemination. Let's give a short overview of the two processes. Communication is about making the people aware of the project and helping them understand why it matters. It's about building interest and trust in people about what we are doing, and to get close to the project. And as you can understand, in research and innovation projects, we often work with topics which are not very easy, which are complex, technical, and our role in communication is to be the facilitators, to help people understand more complex topics. So what we do in concrete is turn complex ideas into something that people can understand and connect with. This is about communication. Then dissemination is a bit different because the focus moves from the general public to the people who can really make use of the project results. So what is different, it's the target audience. So we are talking for dissemination about researchers, companies, professionals, policy people. And again, our role is to help that connection happen. Because, I mean, a report sitting on a website is not dissemination just because it has been uploaded. A paper is not enough just because it has been published. What matters is whether the right people find it, understand it, and see the value in it.
Mm-hmm.
I would like also to add to this fantastic overview done by my colleague that today also communication and dissemination are dynamic activities. So one of the relevant important pillar for this kind of action is related with stakeholder engagement and with cooperation with other projects founded under the same goal. Regarding the stakeholder engagement, these activities is strongly related with exploitation, and later I will explain you a little bit about it. And regarding the synergies with other ongoing projects is particular and relevant, is an important action because we trying to maximize the results coming from the different projects, and we need to do all our best to reduce the overlapping in terms of activities activities between similar or projects founded by the same call or on similar topics. All the projects have been funded by the European Commission, so we need to maximize the budget. We need to be sure that all the actions are done in a right way. And if some other projects have already done similar works in other projects, of course, maximize the results of this action. In case it's possible, is an important part of exploitation, communication, and dissemination. So let me say that not only communication and dissemination, but also synergies and stakeholder engagement.
Let's bridge into the next section here, where you will share with me and the listeners the differences between these three concepts, because they're always put in the same box. And often there's also some confusing around which are what and how to use them. So communication, dissemination, exploitation. So what are the differences?
Yes, are three completely different activities. Before we have give you an overview about communication and dissemination, but I would like to underline the importance of the exploitation. Today, the most critical point for the European project is the fact that most of the results do not reach the market in the right way. In particular, they are not able to be competitive on the market, not only from the technical point of view, but also from the financial point of view. If we spoke about in innovation action, at the end of the project, we reach usually a TRL of 7. It means that we need 2 additional steps to reach the market, TRL 8 and TRL 9. Mm-hmm. The exploitation is all the activities that during the project development, but also after the project, allow to develop this action, to develop a clear market strategy. We support our partners to understand the unique value proposition of the implemented key exploitable results. We provide a competitor analysis to understand who are the direct and the indirect competitors, not only at the EU level, but at global level. And we will try to understand how to cover the investment needed to reach the TRL 9. Mm-hmm. Most of the key exploitable results never reach the market. Why? Because partners are not able to find the right resources, technical and economical, to complete the TRL development and to reach the TRL 9. So the exploitation, I repeat, different from communication and dissemination, are all the actions that support partners or consortium to reach the market with the project results. Of course, we support them with financial plan, business plan, innovative and circular business model. But we also support them to better define the IPR strategy or the way to be on the market, creation of new SMEs or joint venture between the partners or a spin-off coming from the university. So everything that support technical partners to reach the market and to define their strategy to be competitive on the market is exploitation. And this is why it's so important, because we need to maximize also in this case the investment done by the European Commission and by the partners in order to develop innovative and competitive products or process or innovations.
Now, you already shared a little bit about your approach, but let's just step directly into how you develop the communication dissemination strategy, because you already opened that up a little bit. So I don't know, Rosanna, is that something you can share?
Yes, let's say that this is a process that starts from the day zero. I mean, we don't wait for the project to start and then ask ourselves how to communicate. We start earlier. already when the proposal is being shaped, also because at that stage, the consortium already has a clear idea of the goals and the results they want to achieve and the people they want to reach. So what we ask first is who we do want to speak to, why do they matter for our project, and what do we want to them? I mean, do we want them to follow just the project, join the conversation, use the results? And based on that, we define the communication and dissemination strategy. Means the tone of voice, the type of message, the kind of content you want to create. Because you are not clear on the audience, then even good content can miss the point. So what we are going to do is to create an awareness campaign, campaign that have content, so substance. The main result is that the people should want to follow the project. They should feel that content can be useful also for their daily actions. In the case of, for example, one of our project on bioeconomy, we try to give them daily tips on how they can improve their daily actions and yeah.
It's, this is the most difficult, it's one of the most difficult things of being involved in an EU project. And all researchers would disagree. So no, it's our research, it's what we do in the lab. They know what they need to do. They know what's wrong. They know, but reaching out and having people caring.
Yes.
About what you do in that EU project and getting connected with the stakeholders, exactly. That target groups that should, where you need to spread the results for the dissemination. This, but it's very difficult work, and it's so it's very important to have strong people like yourself,
and those
that are used to put this into a matrix of how to attack these things, because I know myself as a podcaster, it's very, very difficult to one thing is you can identify them, but then to actually reach them and care about what you do, it's very, very difficult.
Yes, it is, and for sure, it's really important to understand and identify which platforms can be used effectively to reach the right people. For example, and I mean, there are some KPIs that can be over-evaluated. For example, in some project you cannot reach the big numbers in terms of followers, but you know that you are reaching the right people. That's when you know that communication is working, and it's actually supporting the impact, because you are reaching the people that can really make use of the outcomes of the project.
I know also when you implement a project, the reporting, right? you have to show the commission that what actually happened. So you have to count your LinkedIn post likes, the Instagram stats, your Facebook, whatever you do out there, right?
Yeah.
I guess you as professionals you probably have. Can you share how you have set this up?
Yeah, basically this is the same approach we use for collaborating with our partners. We try to give them the tools to make collaboration effective. I mean, there are some partners in the project that are very technical, so that the communication is not their first activity. So what we aim to do is to give them the tools to make everything simple. For example, some templates, some visuals, some everything they could need to facilitate the reporting. For example, we always use communication and dissemination logbook where partners can collect all the activities, all the events where they participate, all the workshop organized, and when the project has been presented and promoted through their presentations and their involvement in some events.
Nils, of course, about it, we cannot share with you all our secrets.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Nah, but you know what? I've been doing 220 podcast episodes, and a good deal of them has been about communication, dissemination, exploitation, and it's not rocket science, right? This is about structuring yourself in your corner, right? It's very and it's about, you know what you also do? Let me guess. You push a lot of your partners. Because most of these, they don't take this corner of the project for anything. And I'm not even offending anybody, because I know I've been in your seat myself. I know how partners think. They focus on the content of the core part that they consider, and this is something that we need to. There's a lot of pushing and nudging, and come on, guys, go and like the bloody thing on LinkedIn. Come on.
That can be my my approach, but actually, as I was saying before, we know that everyone is busy; they have other priorities, so we try to not push, but make it easy for them to be part of the process of communication, because we have to maintain our community always up to date. Because in this way, we can grow interest about what we are doing. So when they understand that we are trying to connect with people, partners are more likely to contribute when the content speaks to their region, to their stakeholders, and make the exchange very open and based on the reality everyone needs.
Just to add something, the work that we are doing in the last year in terms of communication and dissemination 4.0 is to understand, of course, the project results, and customize the messages and tools for the different public sectors. So we are trying to make a tailor-made communication activities in terms of content, in terms of tools, in terms of messages, in order to be more efficient to reach the target that we have in mind. Maybe 10 years ago, communication was quite linear, without any kind of specific communication. Now what we are trying to do is to make concrete and different action for the different customers audience, and in order to have the right emphasis around the project results, and also trying to understand what could be the interest of this target for the project.
Speaking of targets and concrete things, we need to have a section where we talk a little bit about the concrete communication and practice. Just shortly before we move into you can also combine it maybe with your success story from SYMBA project, sharing how you to give a good example of what kind of activities you're doing there with the website and press relation and so on.
Yes, I think that you selected the right example for the communication and dissemination effectively working for the project, because SYMBA is a project which had the target audience that was the industry. I mean, SYMBA is about creating a replicable industrial symbiosis methodology at the European level. So naturally, the industries clusters were the key audience from the beginning of the project. But our objective at the same time was to build also a broader awareness about this topic in the general public. The idea, we wanted to make them understand the idea that waste should not be seen just as waste, but as a resource. What we thought that our communication strategy had to work on both fronts. On one side, we had the more specialized target audience. So we had to stick to industry in a way that was relevant for them. So the right events, networking, and sector-related discussions. On the other side, we worked to make the project more open and understandable for a broader audience.
And SYMBA is extremely interesting also because there is a strong interaction and connection between communication, dissemination, and exploitation. One of the main results of SYMBA project is the IT tool that we are developing in order to show in the operational environmental the benefit coming from the industrial symbiosis approach that has been developed during the SYMBA project. So everything is done throughout the website. We have created a specific section where you can compare all the environmental and technical parameters coming from a classical approach, directly compare with an industrial symbiosis approach. So in this case, like you can see, communicate means also make exploitation activities. So in some case, communication, dissemination, and exploitation are completely different. In other cases, strongly linked and connected. In fact, one of the main results is this tool for companies, for research centers, for cities, and for regions, where they can really understand the economic, environmental benefit coming from the industrial symbiosis approach. And for this reason, bringing a customer on our website means also to give to them this tool for internal evaluation. Also in this case, and I complete, regarding this tool, we are developing a business plan, not during the project implementation, where we already have the financial resources to cover the development, but for the end of the project. There are different platforms available. We are looking for a business model, innovative, that can allow us to be competitive on the market, and we are understanding the main benefit for the end user in order to use our platform.
Now the challenges. That's good. That's nice. So you have the tool. That's fine. But the challenge is, of course, to get people to use this and to get people to be aware of the fact that the tool is there. Now, how do you, Rosanna, have you done workshops or events? How do you engage people to direct them to make them aware that there is such a tool?
Yeah. These activities has been done first of all with research and technical partners involved in SYMBA to make a first evaluation, starting from the data that they already have. Later on, has been done an open call to select cities and regions that could be interested to use the industrial symbiosis approach and to test together with us the platform in order to understand how to improve it, because we need to be in line with specific market needs. If we only make a comparison into the consortium, we never understand well what the market wants. only working together with external partner, with the advisory board, with also with our competitors and analyzing them, we can really understand where the market are going and how we can be useful to reply to the specific market needs of our customers. So we have done this open call. We are working with internal and external partner for the validation, and also to better understand how they want to how fast needs to be the system in order to give to them benefit, but without losing too many time in order to collect all the information.
Let me just pierce a little bit into, so did you newsletter, so the tools used, how did you approach it?
Yeah, basically we use that tool, I mean, really carefully, because no one wants the mail inbox full of information that
No.
maybe they don't ask for. So what we do is to send to the community updates about the process and the progress of the project, where they can find us in the future, if we have some events presentation already scheduled, and also we use for example, to invite them to participate to some surveys, as Marco was saying, in SYMBA co-creation is a very important a very important part. So the community is really one of the engines that moves forward the project.
And also in this case, cooperation with other projects founded on similar topics is a good way to sharing, also the following all the data protection plan, but sharing our community and trying to understand if there are some tools that have been developed by them that could be useful for us, and vice versa.
Very well. Thanks. We reached the end of this conversation. Very, very nice. Thanks for sharing this with me and the listeners. Now, is there anything you want to say before we shut the program down?
We only thanks you for the nice conversation that we have done, and it's a pleasure to be part of this European environmental, and thanks to the visibility and the cooperation and the networking that comes from this type of actions.
Thank you for your work, Niels. Really, really appreciate it.
No, thank you. Now, dear listeners, thank you so much for listening to the end. So what I need to say here is, of course, in your episode, when you sit and listen to this episode on Spotify or Apple Podcast or where you listen, there you have some episode notes that you can click on. So there's a link, and that link will guide you to the website of this episode. And there you have a resume of what we're talking about. And you have links to the project. You have links to ENCO, of course. And you have links to these kind people, these two kind guests here, their LinkedIn profile, so you can connect with them. And I would encourage you to go and check out how you work, how ENCO works, and connect with Rosanna and Marco here to exchange if you want them to help you sketch this out in your next proposal, because that's of course a key point of these podcast episodes, to make people aware of what you do and how well you are. And I've seen the projects myself. I've been browsing around, and you do a very, very nice job, so I can indeed recommend you that. Now, while you're in there, you can of course also browse around my content as a podcaster. So check out the Grant. There's a huge content library in there if you're interested in EU R&D funding. So that's that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's say goodbye to the listeners. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
You have been listening to the Grant Collaboration, part of the Grant podcast. This podcast episode is a collaboration between ENCO Consulting and the Grant. All episodes in the ENCO series have their own site on the Grant website. You will find the link to the episode site where you listen to your podcast. On the site for this episode, you will find a link to Marco's and Rosanna's LinkedIn sites. Further, you will find a link to ENCO Consulting where you can explore more about the services that they provide within EU funding. Next episode will be released in 2 weeks on the 12th of May, where we will zoom in on how ENCO is working with life cycle assessment. Very interesting. You can look forward to that. You have been listening to the Grant Collaborations, a part of the Grant podcast.